I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait.
Hi and welcome back to Rideshare Buddy UK. My name's Kevin and today I'm not out in the car, I'm at home because yesterday I got verified after about 2.5 weeks for Holler. So I am now live on Holler in Newport. There's not going to be a lot of work initially because Holler is only just beginning to launch out in Cardiff, Newport and Gwent area. Still very much a soft launch phase, but let's have a quick run through for the map. Now, two things to say first of all. Well, main thing is Holler is not for private hire drivers. Holler is for hackney carriage drivers and private hire operators. So they won't take you on as a driver. You need to get your operator's license, which I've got, so it's not a problem. It's really a taxi fare comparison engine. So you'll have taxi companies and private hire companies signing up for the app, and when the rider um, sets a job out, they'll be presented with a range of offers you can bid on it, but we'll go through it when I show the app in operation. But the thing is, you can set your own prices. So really, this is a game changer for small operators. It's going to really help boost business. And I'm hoping it may eventually be able to replace Uber. Because Uber, people complain about Uber price taking a lot of percentage because drivers get paid so little. The reason drivers get paid so little is not because Uber is keeping the lion's share of the fare, it's because their fares are substantially lower than everybody else, and that's why drivers get paid such a small amount. Well, hopefully, with apps like this, drivers and operators can start to take a little bit more control over their earnings. Now, because Holler doesn't take on drivers, you need to be an operator. I'd recommend any private hire driver to have a look at their local council and find out how much it costs to get an operator's license. Most councils will have a small operator's license. In Newport, it's from 1 to 10 cars, and it costs £1,000 for 5 years. So you work that out, that's £200 a year, one return trip to Heathrow, and you've covered your cost of the operator's license. The other issue is planning. People think that you have to have a planning permission to have a private hire operator's license. That's not strictly true. Planning are only interested if your private hire business is going to impact on local neighbours or local traffic and parking. Basically, if you're only running one or two cars, that's you and maybe your partner both have a car, which you would have anyway working for a private hire company. As long as it's one or two cars, planning is basically not going to be interested. They'll write a letter to the council licensing department saying no planning is required for this development. Planning gets interested when you have three or more cars because that's then when neighbours could be impacted, that's when local traffic can be impacted, and that's when local private parking can be impacted. So provided you're under two cars, you shouldn't have to worry about planning. Just send a quick question into planning department and say, this is where I live, this is what I'm planning to do. I'm only going to have one car, maybe two cars, and it's just a family business. And you shouldn't have too much of a problem with planning. So very quick, very easy to get a small operator's license, and I'd recommend any private hire license driver to do that because then you can take on your own work. So anyway, this is the app. Driver's dashboard gives you a driver's code, and there you can see you can send out your QR code or your code to customers, and they can set you as a favourite driver or favourite business. And you can also get referral fees for sending other operators and hackney carriages to Holler. As I say, it's just in startup phase in Newport and Gwent, so that's all you need. Took about 3 weeks to get validated. You have to send up your private hire uh, operator's license, and it does say a uh, personal badge license. That's really for security trade. So all I did, I just uploaded my private hire license, driver's license, and they accepted that, and also uploaded my operator's license and accepted that. That's pretty much all you need to get signed up. So you then, because I'm just a lone driver, I have just the one car. You can add vehicles. The Holler app, if you're a private hire operator with more than one car and you have a dispatch system, will integrate into dispatch systems. Payment is via Stripe. So Holler will walk you through setting up a Stripe account, and that's not a problem. And this is the interesting one, the rates. You have 3 options for rates, a standard, a low, and a high. There's no banding involved, it's just those 3 rates. So for standard, I'm starting off with £1.50 a mile and a base fare of £5. So fares will be £5 plus £1.50 a mile. Just to start off, I don't know how it's going to operate. I'll make that changes as required. My high, which I'll be using for night's work, is £2 a mile and £8 base. So if I come out during rush hour and traffic's moving slowly, I'll bid with my high rate. For airport runs and long distance runs, I've got a base fare of £5 and £1.25 a mile. We'll see how that goes. Maybe down to Heathrow, I'll do £1.25 a mile. Maybe I'll just stick to £1.50 a mile. So we'll see what happens. So you've got 3 bandings that you can set up. Standard, low and high, which you bid on jobs on. You can choose which band you want to bid on a job. But there's no banding at all. So you can't put first X miles such and such rate, next X miles such and such rate. You can do that with mini cabbies. I've also applied for mini cabbies, but I really quite like Holler. So the locations, you put in your home location and various favourite locations, but it doesn't really matter too much. Just get your home. And the navigation, you can either choose Google Maps, you can use Holler's own mapping, or you can use Waze. So that's quite good. Various other privacy policies and report issues and stuff like that. Fairly straightforward, fairly simple. All you do is, when you want to go online, you select your rate. So press on the rate and select which one you want. If it's rush hour traffic, select your high rate, and then you just click the green button and you're online. Go online. So that's it. I'm now online and accepting rates at my high rate. I can choose back down to standard just by clicking on it. Straightforward. So that's it. I'm online and I'm ready to take any bookings or bid on any jobs that come through. So let's change over to my another phone, and on this one I've got the Riders app open. So where to? Current location, which is where I'm at. And where are you going to? Let's say the local railway station. Search Newport Railway. Now, one of the things you'll notice with this map is that some of it is in Australia, some of the routes, but I'll choose National Rail High Street in Newport. It shows the map and the route, and then choose the type of car that you want. You can standard, I'm on standard, and find a car. When you press that, you've heard that, and on my app, it's come up and I can bid on the job. So I've sent in a bid to the rider, and on the rider's app, it shows me and how much I'm going to charge for that trip, which is $7.92. So processing booking, confirming booking, and because I've not added a card, it tells me to add a payment type. So it's failed. You get star ratings as well, just like Uber, for both rider and company. And very straightforward. It'd be interesting to see how this goes when it gets fully launched out in Newport, Cardiff and Gwent. I'm certainly going to push it because I quite like this. This looks quite good. If there's multiple people who bid on the rider's app, on the app for the job, then you've got two options. The rider's display will list cars which are from cheapest to highest. I think it's first 5 bids. And there's also another section which is the nearest or the quickest responding, and that will go from distance from the nearest to the furthest. So people can then choose to go either for the cheapest option, and it'll show you how far away it is, or they can go for the nearest if they want a quicker booking and response. So that's Holler. Finally, took about 2.5 weeks to come through, but I'm online now. I'm going to start pushing this on Facebook. What you can do, which I really like about this, is there's a pro version which costs $7.95 a month, and that means I can use Holler for my own booking, so I can direct all of my passengers instead of having them to go through my payment situation and stuff like that. They can send bookings through in advance directly to me and pay through Holler. Now, Holler, I think, is charging at the moment about 50 pence per job that they send you, which I think is incredibly cheap. But they also charge £1 to the customer for a booking fee. So they make their job payment, you know, both at the rider end and the driver end. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. I'll put a link to the areas which are currently about to launch in. Some of you will already know Holler because it's already operating in various locations. I'll put a link to the page, but currently live in Southampton, Luton, Leeds, Oxford, Stirling, Bristol, Wakefield, Biggleswade, Glasgow and Grays. So there's a few already out and live, so some of you may already know it. It'd be interesting what you think of it. If you drop it down in the comments below, do you think it's a good app or not? And it's about to launch in Manchester, Birmingham, Newcastle, London, Exeter, Edinburgh, Carlisle, Cardiff, Swansea, Brighton, Bournemouth, Reading, Norwich, Hull, Ipswich, Gwent, Newport, Liverpool, Bradford, Sheffield, Eastbourne, Andover. Oh, and the list goes on. If you want to check out your area, click on the link below to the Holler website. But if you're already using Holler, let me know what it's like. It looks a really interesting app, especially for small operators, because it's going to allow you to get into a group of drivers where there's 24-hour coverage, basically. I mean, as a single operator and driver, it's very difficult to sort of get established in the trade because people are going to try and log on and order you at all sorts of times of day and night, and you can't do it. I've tried to do it when I had the flight cabs business. It really does wreck you physically if you're trying to cope with it. You're up at all hours. You get no standard sleep patterns. And in the early days, it can really take a physical toll on you. It's only when you start to get a group of other drivers who can take that pressure off you that you actually start to build up a trade. So an app like this, I think, is going to be really good, especially for your small operators and small hackney carriage owner drivers. So that's it for today. A quick look at Holler. Hope you find it interesting. And until next time, take care. Please like, subscribe and share. And safe travels.